Millennium Development Goal is good, but I think can we make it a national development goal? That is where the success lies. So we need a national development strategy, that there is a vision about the country, there is energy, and that is built with the citizens' participation. And if we could all support that national development strategy, then that will be fantastic. Then we are all facing in the same direction. I think the role of the state, particularly in relation to citizenship, those of us who work with the human rights-based approach, it's very important that the citizens' role in developing national development strategy, developing vision, it's very, very important. And I think the state is not simply we can't leave it to the market only. A state has a role, but I think the citizens have the ownership. And I think that's where we focus, working with the communities, not simply community of localities, but community of interest, community of identities. Internationally, I think we have now a whole range of experience generated across the world. And I think it is important that development cooperation is no longer simply a north-south relationship, and it is also south-south, in the sense that we can learn a lot from Brazil, and we can learn from India, but also Nigeria and Kenya have developed many innovative way of working with many of the issues, and we need to make sure that there is exchanges, so that not all relationships are built sort of north-south only. I think we need to have a much more triangular south-south as well as north-south relationship for learning. Resources are already flowing. What is important is to focus on the demand side of development. I think citizens' capacity. It's true that everybody's capacity needs to be built. I think donors' capacity is very important to be built. Similarly, the governments and the public services, parliamentarians, local governments. But I think where we will win if we were able to allow citizens' capacity to be built, not simply building citizens' capacity, but also recognizing their capacity. In fact, there in every country that I know and we work, there are inherent existing capacity. We also need to build our own capacity to understand the capacity that already exists. And citizens organization, in the last 15 years, there has been a massive proliferation and strengthening and ascendancy of social movements, which is actually the movements and the organizations of poor and excluded people themselves, of the interest groups, whether they are farmers or they are people living with HIV/AIDS, feminist movements, labor organizations, slum dwellers organizations. There's a whole range of organizations and movements that have been built, and I think we need to sort of thrive on the power and energy of the people's organization. And I think just to give you an example, how we might not have not sort of neglected. As you know, for the last 2 decades, we have neglected. And I think, I'm not sure whether it's neglected only, I think maybe structurally demolished the agricultural sector and the farmers. And I'm delighted that the attention on farmers and agriculture and rural development has returned. And therefore, it is very important for us to now focus on the institutions or organizations of communities and people, particularly farmers organization, particularly women farmers, and building their organization, actually working with them and sort of claiming the rural development and agricultural development and sustainable agriculture development for many of the countries to meet Millennium Development Goal. I think it has to be rural development. It has to be based on agriculture, and it has to be by the farmers, and particularly women farmers. And hopefully this is where we can put all our energy in the coming years. I think European Commission, European Union together are certainly the biggest player, not only in terms of the development aid in terms of money, but policies, capacities, exchanges, and I think it will continue to remain so, even though the global power is much more multipolar, but there is a historical relationship which are changing. And I think we have seen European Commission responding to the need to change, whether it's in technical assistance, and I think, and increasingly even say in relation to climate change, actually, putting forward bolder, and we would like to say not as bold as we would like from the civil society and citizen, but certainly in comparison with the other parts of the world and other powerful nations, really putting forward bolder targets. So I think there is a responsiveness that we see, but of course we would say not big enough, not fast enough, but I think we see that certainly in the right direction. Our suggestions for moving faster or bolder would certainly be relating to be responsive to listening to, and build that capacity to listen to the developing countries and the citizens and social movements, their views, providing that space in the decision making of your own citizens in Europe. We find that there is a huge amount of citizen-to-citizen connection in development. For example, take ActionAid. ActionAid is supported by nearly 500,000 European individually on a monthly basis, and so there's already that citizens link, and it will be very important for the bureaucracy to listen to that. And I think if we could only cut the bureaucracy to its optimum, we would be moving much faster and much sort of bolder as well.